My best friend lied. My name is Hannah. I am 32 years old. I am a wife. I am also a mother. I have a happy home. I love my life very much. My husband is Mark. Mark is a good man. We have been married for a long time. We built a beautiful life together. I believed in our love. I believed in our future. Some stories stay with us. If this one feels special, feel free to leave a like or a comment. I have a best friend. Her name is Jessica. Jessica is very important to me. She is a constant presence in my life. Jessica and I met many years ago. We share everything. We tell each other all our secrets. Jessica knows my heart. I know her heart. She often comes to our house. She eats dinner with us. She helps me with the children sometimes. Mark likes Jessica too. Mark and Jessica talk easily. They laugh at the same jokes. Jessica is part of our family unit. She is like a sister to me. Trust is the most important thing. I value trust above all things. Trust is the foundation of my life. I must trust my husband. I must trust my best friend. Without trust, everything breaks. I believe that people must be honest. I believe that lies destroy everything good. I always try to be honest. I expect the same from the people I love. I trusted Mark fully. I never doubted him. I trusted Jessica fully too. I never doubted her friendship. This strong trust made my world feel safe. My life was very secure. My marriage was secure. My friendship was secure. Everything felt right and true. My foundation was solid stone. I felt lucky every day. I had a loving husband. I had a loyal friend. My life was simple and good. This perfect picture was my reality. I thought it would last forever. I believed in my perfect life. I believed in my trusted people. Our life was a good routine. We lived a quiet, normal life. Mark went to work every morning. I managed the home and the children. We had dinner together every night. We talked about our day. We watched films on the sofa. We laughed easily together. Our marriage was happy. It felt very stable. Jessica was always around. She was a fixed part of our weekly schedule. Every Tuesday, Jessica came for coffee. We talked for hours at my kitchen table. We discussed small things. We discussed big things too. She helped me pick clothes. I helped her plan holidays. Jessica knew all my worries. She knew all my dreams. She knew how much I loved Mark. She knew how much I valued my marriage. Jessica was often there on Fridays too. We had Friday movie night. Mark, Jessica, and I would watch films. Sometimes we ordered pizza. We were 3 close friends. We felt comfortable together. Mark treated Jessica kindly. Jessica treated Mark kindly too. They had a casual, friendly relationship. I never worried about their closeness. Why would I worry? Jessica was my best friend. Mark was my husband. They were both my family. I remember these days well. Everything was normal. Everything was peaceful. Mark would say he needed to work late. I accepted his answer. He worked hard for our family. Jessica would suddenly cancel our coffee date. She would say she was busy. I understood her busy schedule. I was too trusting. I did not look closely at the details. I trusted their words. I trusted their actions. My days were full of simple tasks. I drove the children to school. I bought food for the house. I cleaned our home. My mind was focused on my duties. I did not focus on secrets. I did not look for problems. The routine was safe. The routine was predictable. I loved the comfort of predictability. I loved the feeling of having two people who loved me completely. I was certain of their love. I was certain of their loyalty. My world was built on their truthfulness. I never imagined their truth was a lie. I never saw the danger hiding near me. The changes started slowly. They were tiny cracks in the strong foundation. At first, I did not see the changes clearly. I ignored the small things. I told myself I was silly to worry. Mark started keeping his phone close, very close. He never left it on the kitchen counter anymore. If the phone rang, he answered it quickly. He often went into the other room to talk. When I asked who it was, he said, "Just work," or he said, "Just a colleague." His voice was too casual. It felt forced. Jessica started acting differently too. Sometimes she looked nervous when she saw me. She seemed distracted during our coffee dates. She was often looking at her phone under the table. When I asked her about her life, she gave short answers. She did not share her feelings anymore. She started being vague. One evening, Mark and Jessica were at my house. Mark was talking about his new project at work. Jessica suddenly looked at him. Their eyes held for a second too long. It was a strange look. It was a look of shared secret. I saw it quickly, then they both looked away fast. My stomach felt cold. I felt a small, sharp pain inside. I pushed the feeling away. I told myself they were just friends. Mark started needing to travel for work more often. He said he had client meetings out of town. The trips were always short. 1 night or 2 nights away. He did not call me much when he was gone. He said his signal was bad. I hated him being away. But I supported his career. I never questioned his reasons for leaving. Jessica was also often unavailable when Mark was away. I tried to invite her over. She always had an excuse. She was busy with family. She was sick. She was too tired. They were both suddenly busy at the same time. This pattern began to worry me. The worry grew into a heavy stone in my chest. I tried to speak to Mark. I asked him if he was happy. He said, "Of course, Hannah." Very happy. But he did not look at my eyes when he spoke. The stone in my chest grew heavier. I tried to trust them. I tried to believe them, but the small lies piled up. The truth was becoming hard to ignore. My trust was shaking. My beautiful, safe world was beginning to wobble. I felt confused all the time. I started watching them. I watched how they looked at each other. I watched their body language. The feeling of unease was constant now. I knew something was very wrong. My mind did not want to accept it, but my heart already knew the dark truth. The day of the turning point was an ordinary Tuesday. Jessica was supposed to come for coffee. She had canceled that morning. She said she had a sudden dentist appointment. I stayed home. I was cleaning Mark's jacket pocket before laundry. I did not expect to find anything. It was just a routine task. Then my fingers touched paper. It was a small folded piece of paper. It looked like a receipt. I pulled it out slowly. I opened the paper. It was a hotel receipt. It was a receipt for 2 nights. The date was last month. Last month was when Mark said he was traveling for a client meeting. My hands started to shake badly. I looked at the location. The hotel was only 30 minutes from our city. It was not a long-distance business trip. It was a lie. He had lied about the distance. I felt panic rising in my throat. I looked at the receipt again. I looked at the signature line. Below the charge amount, there was a handwritten note. It was a simple note. It said, "Happy Anniversary, J&M." I stared at the letter J. My breath stopped completely. J for Jessica. The world went silent around me. The small receipt felt heavy like a rock. The blood rushed from my head. I felt dizzy and sick. I sat down hard on the edge of the bed. The foundation of my life did not just crack. It exploded into 1,000 pieces. My entire life was a lie. Mark was a liar. Jessica was a liar too. I started crying immediately. It was a silent, deep cry. I could not breathe properly. The pain was physical. It felt like a knife in my chest. I looked at the receipt again and again. I needed it to be wrong. I needed the J to mean something else. But I knew the truth. I remembered all the small, strange looks. I remembered all the nervous glances. I remembered the quick phone calls. It all made perfect sense now. They were together. They had been together for a long time. They built a lie together. The grief for my marriage was immediate, but the pain of Jessica's betrayal was worse. My best friend, my trusted sister figure. She had sat in my kitchen. She had listened to my worries. She had looked me in the eyes. She had known the secret the whole time. She had lied easily. She had lied every single day. The realization was devastating. I felt profound disillusionment. I lost my husband. I lost my best friend. I lost my entire reality in one moment. I had to face them now. I had the evidence. The time for lies was over. I waited for the evening. I needed to be calm. But I was not calm. I was burning with anger and pain. I decided to confront Jessica first. The betrayal from her felt sharper. I sent her a message. "I need to see you now. Come to the house immediately." I did not wait for a reply. Jessica arrived quickly. She looked worried when she walked in. Her eyes searched my face. She knew something was wrong. She asked, "Hannah, what is happening?" "You look terrible." I stood in the middle of the living room. I held the receipt tightly in my hand. My voice was low and shaking. I said, "You told me you went to the dentist today." She nodded quickly. "Yes, I did." She continued to lie. I threw the receipt onto the coffee table. The paper slid across the wood. It stopped in front of her feet. I said, "Look at that, Jessica. Look at the date. Look at the initials." Jessica looked down at the receipt. Her face went white immediately. All the blood left her face. She picked up the paper slowly. She read the note, "Happy anniversary, J&M." She looked up at me. Her eyes were full of fear. She did not say a word. "You lied to me," I whispered. My voice broke. "You are my best friend. You sat here and lied. You watched me love my husband. You watched me trust you both. How could you do this?" Jessica started to cry. She tried to touch my arm. I stepped back quickly. I did not want her touch. She said, "Hannah, I am so sorry. It just happened." "It was a mistake." "A mistake?" I shouted. The noise hurt my throat. It was not a mistake. It was a decision. It was a continuous choice to betray me. Our friendship is destroyed, Jessica. It is completely finished. I looked at her with cold eyes. The anger shielded me from the pain for a moment. She stood up. She tried to speak again. I pointed to the door. "Go. Get out of my house now. Never contact me again." Jessica left quickly, crying deeply. My best friend was gone. Now it was time for Mark. He came home later. He was cheerful. "Hello, honey. Long day at work." He smiled. I stood there, still holding the crumpled receipt. I looked at his face. I saw the deception there. I felt zero love for him. I only felt cold clarity. I said, "We need to talk about your business trips, Mark." He stopped smiling. His cheerfulness vanished. He looked nervous, just like Jessica. I showed him the receipt. He did not even try to deny it. He just looked down at the floor. "How long?" I asked. My voice was flat now. "A few months," he mumbled. "No," I corrected him. "More than a few months." That receipt says anniversary. You two celebrated this lie. You built this secret life. He tried to apologize. He tried to explain the feelings. I did not listen to his words. His words meant nothing to me now. He had shattered our vows. He had shattered my trust. I told him he had to leave. The marriage was over. I said, "You broke everything, Mark. You and Jessica worked together to ruin my life." The pain was overwhelming. The confrontation led to the complete collapse of my world. My husband was leaving. My best friend was gone. I was alone in the devastated wreckage. The weeks after the confrontation were dark. I felt numb and empty. Mark moved out quickly. Jessica tried to call me a few times. I blocked her number. I needed distance from both of them. I needed silence. I needed to rebuild my life from zero. I felt so much bitterness. I hated them both. The hatred was a constant fire in my stomach. I thought about the lies every day. I felt the injustice constantly. They betrayed the person who trusted them most. The profound disillusionment stayed with me. I felt lonely. I felt angry. I felt like a victim of their cruelty. My life changed completely. I focused only on my children. I focused only on my work. I created a high wall around my heart. I wanted to keep everyone out. I was afraid to trust anyone again. If my best friend and my husband could lie, who could I ever trust? Months passed slowly. The anger was still there. But the anger started to feel tiring. It took so much energy to hate them. The bitterness was heavy. It was a weight I carried every day. I realized that my hate was not hurting Mark or Jessica. They were living their lives now. My hate was only hurting me. It kept me stuck in the past. It kept me connected to their betrayal. I started talking to a counselor. She helped me understand my feelings. She told me that forgiveness is not a gift for the other person. She said forgiveness is a gift for yourself. Forgiveness is how you let go of the pain. It is how you gain freedom. This idea changed my focus. I decided I did not want to be angry anymore. I wanted peace. I started the difficult journey of forgiveness. I was not forgiving Mark for being a bad husband. I was not forgiving Jessica for being a bad friend. I was forgiving the pain they caused. I was forgiving the betrayal so I could release it. I needed to set myself free from the anger. It was not easy. Some days, the rage returned, but I pushed through it. I focused on my own strength. I focused on building a new life. A life based on my truth. I started trusting myself again. I learned that my self-worth was not dependent on their loyalty. I learned to live without Mark. I learned to live without Jessica. My friendship with Jessica was gone forever. My marriage was over. But I was still here. I was stronger. I was independent. Today, the memory still hurts sometimes, but the bitterness is gone. I achieved emotional liberation. I let the anger go. I forgave them in my heart. I forgave them so I could move forward. I built a new foundation. This time, the foundation is built on my own strength. I am happy now. I am free. My life is still simple and good. I trust myself completely. That is enough for me. Thanks for watching so far. Leave a comment if you have experienced a similar situation. Like this video and subscribe to hear more stories like this.